Good evening, everyone. Today we have a webinar on how we can take our business to the global world with the help of e-commerce. We have Mr. Sachin Sood, who has very extensive experience in the online selling, around 15 years ka experience. And secondly, we have Mr. Manmohan Dhimanji, who is by profession, who is a CA, and he's associated with Purushottam and Associates. Manmohanji, over to you. You can start. Thank you.
मैं अपने बारे में इंट्रोडक्शन दे रहा था सर. We are associated with Amazon for last 2 years or so, and we have been providing you can say the taxation advisory to the sellers who are willing to sell globally from Amazon. So not only on Amazon, we have been recently associated with eBay, Flipkart, and Alibaba also. So in order to reach you guys, regarding how we can take your business online and how you can generate your brand in global market. So this presentation is all about that, and further we'll be giving some thoughts around regarding the destination compliance. Regarding which compliance you are required to be taken care of in the destination market in which you are generating your sales. So this presentation will be all about that. So I'll request Mr. Sachin ji to go ahead with the presentation for the first few slides, as he'll be sharing your his
Manmohan
experience
ji,
also.
Sachin, Sachin
Apart
ji
from that,
अभी join
he'll be
कर रहे हैं.
sharing some know-hows on how you can take the business to Amazon and other websites. Mr. Sachin ji, can you hear me?
Manmohan ji, Sachin ji अभी join कर रहे हैं. You can continue with your presentation first.
Okay,
Then
okay,
we'll
okay.
have Sachin ji presentation. All right.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. Basically, first of all, we would like to introduce some kind of the process how one can join with this e-commerce portals. Regarding e-commerce, why we should go for e-commerce market? The reason is like this is a very simplified process. One can start selling on e-commerce within a 1 or 2 days process. He can be online, he can create the account. The system is as such with the marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, and other marketplaces. So it is not as difficult as you think sometimes. And of course, you will get a readily available market. Everybody knows that Amazon is a giant player in US, and it is spreading its branches in UAE, European market, Australia, Japan, and worldwide, of course. So one gets the readily available market and gets the benefit of the goodwill created by the Amazon, eBay, and other market players. So it is good to have presence on these markets, as of course you will be knowing that many big brands like Biba and other big brands, Reliance even, are having their presence on these e-commerce portals. So it is easier to access. Sellers will come to you, buyers will come to you directly through these marketplaces, and you will get a good opportunity to expose your products. Third one is like, of course, branding of your business globally. One needs to know that how you are growing your products presence in the global market. So if you are doing it at your individual level, you may take years or more time to bring the knowledge of to bring your products in the knowledge of the persons in the destination marketplaces. You need to spend a lot of your resources on advertisement. You need to spend a lot of your resources on having the presence in the other markets, like an physical entity over there. But with the e-commerce portal, it is not like that. You can have the, you can say, opportunity so that your brand will be visible to the consumers around the globe. And of course, with the time, if your brand's quality is good, if your response is good, you will have a good brand setup for your own product. Further, it is a settled B2C process, and there are of course new B2B opportunities. Amazon, eBay, and other markets are, these are saturated for B2C, business to consumer needs. So what but I mean major type of the consumer products are available on these portals. And of course there is also B2B opportunities there, like Alibaba is doing right now, and other, even Amazon is going into the B2B market, where one industry head can sell to products to other industries in different markets. So this is also in the picture in future times. Recovery of debts won't be an issue for your business, of course. I mean, at Amazon or at eBay or at any other marketplace, you are getting the payments in advance for your products if you're selling globally. There are very few COD models available, which is on cash on delivery. That is also in India only. So in other markets, I mean, you will get the payment first, and then you have to ship your product, or then the marketplace player will ship the product to the consumer. So further, of course, get your product standardized and sale in bulk to marketplace facilitator or in partner with marketplace facilitator. Well, this is an advantage to selling on online. I mean, see, if your product is doing great, even the marketplace player like Amazon will ask you to sell your product directly to them in bulk. So you will not have any kind of the headache of, I mean, how will you will be able to sell the generate the sales in future. Uh, therefore, I mean, you can sell in bulk directly to these marketplace players. Of course, the last point in this would be the changing habits of the world population. After this COVID-19 scenario, nobody is going to visit to the retail shops, or you can say very few amount of population will be tending to visit these retail shops or stores or shopping malls for buying the product. So online shopping will be, I mean, increasing in a very, I mean, you can say, will see a sharp trend increase in its base rate. So we'll moving on the other slide. So Sachinji, are you there? I got the message from Sachinji.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
So Sachinji, can you please take further from this slide onwards?
Yes, as you were told regarding the international selling to various portals like Amazon, eBay, and all that. So I will be talking particularly about Amazon only. This slide is showing that warehouse concept. This is the new concept for the international market or international e-commerce sellers. Those sellers who are selling internationally since ages, like I am selling since ages. So earlier we used to sell in a traditional model, like as soon as the buyer orders the product on a particular marketplace or a particular website. So got the confirmation of the order and we ship the product individually to the buyer directly. So either through whatever the channels available for logistics at that time. So nowadays the concept has been changed as soon as Amazon introduces the warehousing concept. So we use the Amazon warehousing facility, like we'll be shipping the bulk material to Amazon warehouse, and we'll be listing the same products on Amazon itself and on the other portal also, like on our own website or other marketplaces also. So we can have the facility from Amazon to get the items delivered from Amazon warehouse directly to the buyers. As soon as buyer places an order on our website or on Amazon marketplace or other marketplace also, you can get it delivered through Amazon warehouse. So charges a fee for that particular service. It's a very convenient service for the international seller that we have to ship. If the seller is having 100 to 200 orders on a daily basis, it is very difficult for the seller to maintain that order basis. So through Amazon affiliate warehousing service, we ship all the material to Amazon warehouse. And then decide the order from everybody. The now comes like as soon as one decided to go to the international marketplace. So what are the prerequisites for a particular seller to get onboarded on the international marketplaces? Like for Indian compliance, with regards to Indian compliance, Indians need the following things: the AD code registration at the customs port, then the GST registration, and the shipping bill copy, IEC copy, and the port of bill exports. So let me explain all of the things. Initially, if anyone wants to go international market, then one has to have the GST number, then the AD code registration at the nearest port. Like if you are shipping through by air, then you need to register through air by New Delhi airport or Ludhiana port. You can also register yourself as an exporter.
AD code is basically a registration in which you can have your letter from your bank that this is your account number, this is your IC code. Then you have to submit that to the customs department, which will let them know that this is the account you will be using for the GST refunds. So after the AD registration and the GST registration, one must have the IC code, import export code, to get the things done. And after that, the onboarding part of Amazon or eBay or anything is like just as simple as we are registering to any website. You have to give your KYC details and you can register on particular marketplace like Amazon or eBay or any other marketplace. You can register on that. It's just simple as that, as you are registering an email. So you have to give your KYC details and you will be onboarded. Then you have to list a particular product which you want to sell on the international marketplace. After that, you have to make a shipment. If you are using Amazon warehousing services, let's say you are selecting a particular product and you want to send 50 units of that particular product to Amazon. You have already listed that particular product on Amazon website, and you will club that 50 units in one box, and you will ship that particular through the logistic channel which you are having time with. And after that, as soon as Amazon receives the same, your listings will be live over there, and you can sell that particular item on Amazon also, as well as on other marketplaces also. So with regards to compliance, the export cycle turns like you will get the shipping bill from customs, and once you will sell out the units over there on Amazon, Amazon will send you the payment. And as soon as you will see the payment in your bank account, you have to show to your bank that this is the shipping bill of this much of amount I have sent the units, and this is the amount which I have received in my bank account. And you have to give in writing to the bank that this is the payment against this particular shipping bill, and bank will issue you the EBRC, that is called Electronic Bank Realization Certificate, which completes the export cycle. So Manmohanji, please shift to the next slide. Destination marketplace compliance is also necessary in international trade, like send the shipment in bulk. IOR is required over there in US. IOR is importer on record. So as per the international marketplace or import formalities, it is required by the seller to declare himself as an importer on record, because Amazon is just like a marketplace or any other. If you're using any other third-party portal, they will not act as a buyer of the item. They will act just like a marketplace for the same, and you have to declare yourself as an importer on record. So this is the one formality for destination marketplace. You must be very specific about while sending the shipments that the shipments you will send is duty paid shipments, because whatever the duty will be charged over there by the customs in destination marketplace, you will be paying the same, because Amazon or other marketplace or other third-party services you will be using for sending the shipments, they will not pay the duty on your behalf. So you must be having a tie-up with that logistic partner which can bear you it can transfer you the duty charges, whatever is being levied over there in the destination marketplace. Importer permit for non-resident or hiring an IR agent would be easier for you if you are like in US. If you particularly talk about US, in US market you can send a shipment of $800 that is duty free. So there will be no duty in US if you're sending a shipment amounting to US dollars 800. If you're sending a shipment more than 800, then you have to declare yourself as an IOR, and you have to pay the duty charges also through your logistic partners. So it is easy for you to hiring an IOR agent over there if your shipment value is more than 2,500 US dollars. Please sir. Now comes the destination market compliance. Like if you have listed your product, you have sent the shipment. Now you have to see your product is getting sales also. Now you have to be specific about your brand reputation also. Like if you want to register a brand over there in US market, that will safeguard your items recognition and market value and goodwill. So you can have the brand registration from Purushottam and Associates also, and it is better to go for a brand registration later on, not initially I would recommend, because there are other tools also which can let you save the item sales over there. There's a third-party services also available, like transparency.com is a website which offers you the barcode labeling, through which you can safeguard your items over there so that nobody else can sell the same items on your listings. So these are the first few things which can safeguard you, which can help you to settle yourself as an international marketplace. Manmohanji, please take over to the next slide if there is any left.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now we have, spoken about the branding in destination marketplace, the requirement of importer on record in the destination marketplace. We might have aware like the seller needs to do the destination marketplace compliance also sometimes, because the online selling model is such that Amazon or any other market player like eBay won't take the headache of getting into the import declarations, and you can say the formalities on behalf of the buyers. It all needs to be done at the end of the seller sometime. So that is why we have spoken about like the seller himself needs to have someone there who will file their import declarations. Further, adding to that, in some marketplaces like in Europe or Mid East, one needs to have the VAT registration also as a non-resident if he's working as an e-commerce player over there. So the reason behind this is like, someone who is selling from India or any other country to these marketplaces, and of course to the consumers in these marketplaces who are not supposed to have the VAT registration in their home country. So the VAT will be paid by the non-resident supplier who is supplying the goods, and for that purpose one needs to have the registration done. These are the simple things. Of course, you need not to be worried about so much about the VAT registration. These are all more simpler than Indian things, if we can compare it with. In USA, of course, there's a more simpler version which is called marketplace taxation system, which says that Amazon or eBay or any other market player will collect the tax itself from the buyers and will deposit it to the respective government authorities in the states. So even in USA, you need not even to have any sales tax registration for selling in US market. So these are some of the destination marketplace compliances which you can say the seller needs to take care about. Further, we do come up with the question that whether I need to create an entity in the destination marketplace to run a business on e-commerce and to generate the sales from there on. That is not required. It is not a mandatory requirement, but still the sellers who generate a huge volume from a particular market do tend or do feel comfortable in having an entity over there. The reason of that might be like one can have their funds accumulated in that currency. You can say if I am selling in US market and Amazon or eBay is paying me for my sales on a fortnightly basis or for per shipment basis. But if I see, I cannot manage these currencies like, or I cannot plan the conversion with respect to time. If I'll be having an entity in this destination marketplace. But what I can do, store these forex in destination market bank accounts, and then if I can use hedging techniques and other techniques to bring my money at better rates into India. Furthermore, some sellers tend to do the merchanting trade transactions, which is like buying the products from other country, like China, and then directly sending those without bringing them into India, directly selling to those goods to USA or other destination marketplace. So that can be easier if you are having an entity in destination marketplace to abide with the banking regulations. Otherwise, you can still, do the business with as a non-resident and not having any entity in the destination marketplace. The banking regulations. What does banking regulations says about these payments from Amazon, or you can say to reconcile these payments against our shipping bills? There is a specific trade notice, and this e-commerce sales have been recognized by the Indian government also. The specific trade notice of RBI, which I have referred in this slide, number 5231, specifically speak about the Amazon PayPal and other payments. Bank need not to have the buyer detail with him to close the payment, close the entry standing at EDPMS system against your shipping bills. So the bank can write off the shipping bills with mentioning the payments have been come from Amazon, PayPal, or any other e-commerce player without mentioning the name of the actual buyer, because we know that, or the government knows it, that it will be hard to have the full list of the buyers from your destination marketplace, because it can be in n in numbers for a particular shipping bill. So this is the facility being allowed by the RBI. So there's no issue in that. FIRC concept, yes, I mean, this is a different concept in e-commerce things. Like when you're receiving your payment in India, sometimes these marketplaces, what does they do? They send the payment in forex in their own bank account held with them, held with the X bank, say HSBC in India, and from there on the conversion takes place, and the money in INR is being remitted to the Indian sellers. So there's a one step being added in receiving the money in this e-commerce business. So to comply with the legal requirements, one needs to have the FIRC also. For generating an FIRC, the converting bank will issue the information to the beneficiary bank by a form named MT103. And on the basis of that form, the FIRC shall be generated by the beneficiary bank, say seller's bank. So that is a simple process though. Again, receiving the multiple payments for one shipping bill will have the multiple FIRCs. Seller needs to accumulate those FIRCs and cross off the shipping bill once it gets exhausted with the payments received, and then he can get the EBRC from his bank. So these are the tidbits in the banking regulations in regard with respect to this e-commerce thing. And of course, we are open with the Q&A. And before we'll jump to the Q&A session, I will re-explain the concept of the warehousing. I guess we received some messages that the Sachin sir's voice was a bit low at that particular of time. Warehousing concept is used by the, you can say, market players. Like you can store the goods in their warehouses, even in the foreign country. And from there on, when the buyer places any order, the sales can get generated. So what happens in this is like the buyer will be able to procure the order within the period of say 2 or 3 days once he places the order, and on that basis you will get more chances to have an order from the buyer. You'll have the more chances to generate the sales in destination marketplaces. And US buyer or any other Western country destination buyer is likely to get the goods at faster rate, you can say in faster timeline, rather than wait for 14 to 15 days from the date he places the order. So on the basis of that, by estimating your particular demand in a destination market, seller sends bulk shipment in the warehouse of the marketplace facilitator, and from there on he can get the sales generated. So this was the whole idea of the e-commerce, which we can share with you. We are open to Q&A session, and I'll request to Robin ji to come in this and have the questions from the participants, please. If someone having any question, can you please send it on text message, please?
हरमिंदर सिंह जी का एक क्वेश्चन आया है, कैन वी रजिस्टर एडिशनल प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस ओवरसीज टू as we register here in case of Amazon?
Harminder ji, additional place of business is not allowed for the foreign territory. So you need not to have the additional place of business in GST to be added there. So the warehouse you will be using will be on the higher basis from the Amazon. It won't be your place, of course. So that is not possible to have an additional place of business for a foreign territory.
Another question from Saurav Kochar also. I believe you can see the chat.
Yes. What their question is, what Indian products maximum sold in last year in USA market on Amazon? I suppose Sachin ji can give the better answer on this. Sachin ji, are you there?
Yes, sir. There are various category of items which can be sold or which have been, I guess, selling from India. Like in these days, definitely during COVID times, food products are on a higher scale. The demand is very huge for the food items because everybody is buying online over there in US market or any other marketplaces. And other than this, pre-COVID time or post-COVID times, there are a lot of other categories like tapestries, bed sheets, and other handicraft items. Like if from Punjab, I would say recommend like Fulkari work and all kind of stuff. Punjabi jutti we can sell, Punjabi suits, dupatta and all the things we can sell from Punjab itself. And there are a lot of other stuffs as per the regional availability or as per the Indian availability of the items, and as per the personal sourcing availability is also matters a lot. If you're like if you know that you can sell this particular product in a very good price, but you are not having a good kind of sourcing from anywhere, so that also matters a lot. So artificial jewelry is having a very good potential in the overseas market in US. So there are a lot of different categories like dental products and all that kind of stuff. Books are always good selling. So it depends upon like what kind of products you are already into, or what kind of products you can source from the new markets. So that depends.
Sachin, there is another question. I mean, this one. Question is like, how does Amazon charge for warehousing and for selling on their platforms? Can you share us the details about
Yes.
what charges are being charged by
Like
the
Amazon charges $39.99 US for a month for selling on across the platforms which Amazon offers. Like worldwide, Amazon is having sites in various countries like US, Canada, UAE, European market, and South American market. Then UAE market, Australian market, and Singapore, Indonesia. Amazon is having sites all over across the world over. And by paying $39.99 every month, you can sell across the Amazon portals worldwide. So these are the Amazon charges, and other than that, warehousing, it depends upon the volume of the item, like weight of the item. So as per the volume and weight, Amazon having a like a rate list for that. Like for a standard item, if you say like if you have to send a particular pen, the pen, it would be charged roughly around $2 or $2.5 for a 3 months period of time. So Amazon will charge you that particular amount. As soon as the item sells, Amazon will charge you again for the sales commission. That is 15%, which Amazon generally charges over the items. So these are the charges which is Amazon is charging on across the platforms and for the warehousing. Currently, selling on a web to create a competition. Yes, if you are one question is there, our customers are already in US selling on Amazon. So if your customers are already selling on Amazon, they must be having your brand authorization or something like that from you. Or if you want to sell, definitely they can give you competition, or you can give them competition because you are the owner of the product. And if the price strategy you have to calculate, you can manage like at what price you want to sell, or what price you want to let them sell. So that is upon you, because if the product owner, brand owner is you, then you can decide accordingly. So any other questions?
There's a one
Yeah,
question.
there is another question. Are these Amazon charges in compliance with the RBI rules?
Yes, of course. The Amazon, I mean, when you are dealing with destination marketplace with Amazon, what is happening is you are dealing directly with Amazon USA or Amazon UK or Amazon Europe company. You are not dealing with Amazon Indian company at all. So these charges are, of course, in compliance with RBI rules, and you can I mean declare that selling commission on the EDF, which is export declaration form, on your shipping bill, which allows you to mention that this much or the approximate commission which you will be paying in the destination marketplace for selling a particular item. So there won't be any issue in as far as RBI guidelines are concerned. Sachin, I think this question is for you. What is the difference between selling on Amazon and on Alibaba? How do their charges are being compared?
The main and the major difference between Amazon and Alibaba is Amazon is a B2C concept, and Alibaba is B2B concept. So under Alibaba, you have to pay, I think, around 1 to 2 lakhs of rupees per annum, and for this B2B buyers only will be considering you. The merchants over there in other countries will be like looking after for the merchants from India, so they will be looking for on Alibaba if they want to buy in bulk. And on the other hand, Amazon is totally different concept, which is a B2C basically. If you will be selling to buyers across the world directly to the buyers, and you will be listing and sending through Amazon, and payments will be processed through Amazon only. So this is the major difference.
Is Amazon helping in logistics as well? Because after coronavirus, the shipment cost has gone up by, it has been doubled. Like FedEx is charging 450 rupees per kg right now.
Yes, already Amazon is already having a tie-up with FedEx itself. When you will ship the material through Amazon tied up FedEx portal, and it will be charged around roughly 300 to 325 rupees of kg for.
So there's another question. Could we sell same brand product on Amazon and eBay? If we go exclusive with only with Amazon, do they give some advantage?
No, as such, there is no particular advantage. It depends upon the brand value or the market value of your product. If you think that you can achieve more sales through Amazon, then you can go on Amazon only. Or else, definitely everybody wants to expand over there in different marketplaces. So the more and more marketplaces you can catch up, you can definitely will list into that particular marketplaces. If you are sure that you will be getting more and more sales through Amazon only, then only you will stick to Amazon. Otherwise, I would prefer that you have to diversify yourself across the various categories and various marketplaces across the world.
Can we also opt for LCL shipment via container rather than going for air shipment?
Yes, Amazon is having tie-up with FedEx, and they are offering the LCL shipments through FedEx only.
Via sea route, not via air container.
Yes, via sea route. Amazon is having tie-up with Pota. Pota is that is FedEx company, and they are offering sea route shipments. Amazon with Amazon pricing only. Any other questions, sir?
There's one more question, sir. Does Alibaba charge any commission for business generated?
Alibaba charges you one time for the on yearly basis, and they will get you the buyers across the world. They are having various kind of membership like silver, gold, and bronze, etc. So you can select accordingly. They will give you the display on their website according to the plan you will choose it from their website. In USA, the second option apart from Amazon is Wayfair, Walmart, eBay, and and your own Shopify store, your own website you can do, and other options available apart from Amazon.
Robinji, I think it's over to you now. I guess there's no such queries right now in the chat box.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, other participants who joined. और I think उनको काफी हेल्प मिली होगी इसमें. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Robinji.
Thank you, sir.
Bye bye.